Hello, so sorry this video is vertical. I just want to document this before I kind of forget. The last time I made the video about like the house and stuff like that, he didn't came. He actually emailed us rescheduling for Tuesday in the evening because he needed like more papers from about my mom and stuff like that. It's fine, whatever. So then that time when he came, he actually was very like open and was inviting questions, which I liked. I just want to point that out, because I feel like it's not like I'm trying to be, I feel like negative or anything, but in some way I kind of feel like that's how I am. But in some way also I feel like my feelings are valid and like just things I just feel like don't seem right. But anyways, so he came and I just felt like he contradicted himself like in many things that he was saying. Like, for example, at the beginning, I don't remember what was the conversation about, but he was like saying how the interest rate for mortgages or whatever has been pretty steady. And this is kind of like the way he talks, you know, it's been steady, so yeah, it's fine. And so there's nothing to worry about that there. But later on, I don't remember what my dad asked, but he later like said that because of COVID, that the interest rate and like everything is just kind of going up and down, and that there's no like steady, however you call that. So I'm just like, you just said the contrary earlier. What's another thing that he said? Oh yeah, so then he said that, I don't know why he said this, but once locking everything up, that we were not gonna be able to like change anything. And that how, oh yeah, because he was like, it's important for us to like lock the interest rate at a moment where we think it's better and where we're closer to closing, because if we just lock it, that's how it's gonna stay, and we're just gonna stay with that, and you're not gonna be able to change it. And right, I'm like, I don't think that's true. Like, I've heard people refinancing, wait, is that how you say it, refinancing their like mortgages, and they like are able to like make changes and stuff like that. So that just didn't sound right. So later on, I think my dad was asking him about the title and changing, who's kind of like in the title and blah blah blah. And then he was like, oh yeah, that's easy. Again, oh yeah, that's easy. Like this way of talking, yeah, that's easy. You just have to make a whole refinance of everything and change everything and kind of go through the whole process again. And I'm like, so you're saying you are able to refinance, like that's possible? So why were you saying earlier that that was not possible? But anyway, so he brought papers and he was just like telling my parents like, we're signing this papers and this type of papers and this type of papers, and he was just like looking at it, so this, and there's another paper for this and then and then he's like, here, just sign. And then he's just like, here, sign here and here. And my parents are just like, not my parents, my dad and my sister just like signing, they're not even reading their papers. I'm like, oh my god, like, can you guys like at least be more like, I don't know. So he's just like flipping, he's like flipping the pages for them. And I feel like he kind of wanted to do the same with me. I wasn't sitting close to them because like it's hard for me to walk, so like I can only sit where it's kind of easier for me, which that's another thing. When he got here, he was like that I needed to sit closer, and I was like, oh, I can't, sorry, I can't walk, like I can't walk, I can't physically like get over there. He's like, oh, oh, whatever. And then later on, when it was time to like keep signing, he was like, Celia, come sit over here. And I'm just like, I can't walk. But anyways, yeah, so then he came over and then he was like trying to flip the pages for me, kind of just like, just sign here, here, here. And it's again like that type of like, kind of like vibes of like, kind of like, hurry up, just sign here and here and here. And I'm just like, no, I'm actually gonna try to, at least to look, if you're telling me the paper I'm signing is about this, I'm at least gonna try to make sure that that's what the paper is about. So yeah, that's what we signed. And then he left, and I think that was it. But again, I guess the positive thing that I could say is that like he was like inviting questions, and he did answer our questions. So I wasn't fully able to like go through like every single thing, because it was just pretty much, he was like, this paper, you guys have to sign this type of paper and this type of paper and this type of, and then when he put it, it was like, sign here, sign here, sign here. So later on, I got an email I guess from like the bank or a place, the place where the money, I don't really understand how this works, but from another identity. I don't know. I think he called it bank, but I don't think it's a bank. I don't know. It's not in a it's not like a name brand, like a popular name, you know. It's, okay, anyways, I think I got the papers that we signed, and I was looking through them, and there were a lot of typos, and it just seemed so sloppy, and it just seemed so like, what the fuck, like the street address where we live right now, it wasn't correctly spelled. My date of birth was not correct. um Also, it said that I had dependents, which I don't have dependents. And then what else? Okay, so it has all of these typos. I let him know. I'm like, this has a lot of incorrect information. Should I still sign this stuff, or like kind of like, you know, what's going on? He texted me. He's like, yeah, you just keep signing. Literally, you just keep signing and it's fine. And then later on, he's like, so I'm gonna have to go to your house again because we have to sign the papers again. I'm like, why? And then he's like, oh, because of the errors. So I'm like, oh wow, good job. Like, what a way to be fucking sloppy. I don't know. As I was looking through it, also there was like where the assets is included. He like put like hell like big amounts. Like we are like poor, you know, and he put that my assets are 70,000, which I have nowhere that amount. And he put like my sister has over $100,000 in assets. We don't have anything. We don't have anything. Like, we don't have like expensive cars. We don't have like real estate. We don't have anything. And then my sister actually called him to ask him about that. And then he was like, oh yeah, that's because of the clothes you own, like the type of clothes, the clothes you own, and like everything, it adds up. And then she told me, I'm like, there's no way that even if we add up all our stuff, which is just our clothes or whatever, that it even amounts to 100,000. Not even for you alone. And I'm just like, that just does not seem right. And then also, like, there was another section where it says certificate of deposit, and like we didn't deposit anything. And I think for mine it said like 40,000 or 30,000, I don't know. Oh, and then also, fuck, I forgot that. Also, it said that I was paying like $300 of student loans, which I'm not paying anything in student loans. I don't know, it's just like a lot of the things were wrong. And also, like, it said that my student loans were like 30,000, which I don't owe 30,000 in loans. It's like way less than that. So, and it's just like so many like numbers. I feel like the numbers were hella inflated. And I'm just like, should I say something or should I not? Like, I don't know. And then I got the papers again because I guess the bank, well, I don't know. Well, he said it's the bank. I don't know. I guess they sent them again. And everything's the same. All the typos are there. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I didn't want to sign them. So I didn't sign them. Actually, he didn't say anything. So he said he was going to come again. He came today and we signed the papers. And I was kind of looking through the paper. There was still typos there. The only thing he changed was my date of birth. And then when he came, he was like, kind of like, in a joking manner, but at the same time, you could tell that it was kind of like in a also kind of serious way, where he was like, oh, why did you have to check everything? I'm like, well, because everything has to be correct, and like, and he's like, yeah, I know, perdón, because he speaks Spanish. And I'm just like, I don't know. And then, like, again, my dad and my sister, they just signed everything, like, didn't even pay attention. And then also I asked him, like, about the certificate of deposit, and he just, like, the way he talks also, like, makes it very confusing. And, like, I'm just like, okay, I understand what that is, that you have to certify kind of where the money is coming from deposit, but kind of like, why did you put that number for us? Like, I don't remember. We never gave that money. We never, like, I don't know. He's just like, well, it's from, like, from your job and, like, the taxes and, like, I don't know. I'm just like, this does not make sense. But I don't know. I don't know. So it's like, also I asked him, like, don't you think the assets are a little too high? And he, like, was like, no, that because, like, that it's our clothes. It all adds up, and I bet, you know, it all. I'm just like kind of like, no, like, yeah, it might add up, but like at the end of the day, I don't own 70K. And then he started saying like, oh well, at the end of the day, this benefits you because let's say your house burns down and then you are trying to claim insurance, then they know that you had 70K, so then they can give you more money, you know, like it's better to put more, way more, than just put a little. And I'm just like, that's still not right, you know, like I don't know. I don't know, it's just so like, I don't know, I'm just feel so annoyed and like so like I don't want to work with this person because I just don't feel like it's correct. I don't know. So when I was signing, I was trying to make sure about everything else. Also was trying to make sure that things were correct and stuff like that. And then he was like, again in a mocking way, it's like, oh, what, do you want me to give you a copy of all the papers you guys signed so you can examine them, pretty much like. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. And then they gave them to me, and then he was like, okay, well, you study them, you examine them. And I'm just like, again, like in a very like mocking way, I'm just like, wow, like what the fuck. And then the other day, I didn't know this, but the other day my sister said that my dad called him for something, I guess to ask him something over the phone, and that he was like, oh, pass me your daughter because she's smarter than you. And I'm just like, what the fuck, like who says that? Like, again, you're working with someone, like, and if they're asking you a question, you fucking answer the question. You don't like say shit like that. That shit just like fucking pisses me off. Like, that when she said that, it pissed me off even way more. And like, I just feel like the fucking disrespect. But at this point, it's just like kind of like, what do I do, you know, like. And this is a type of like just like attitude vibes that this man just gives. And yeah, so the application has all the typos, like the street name is not spelled correctly. What else? And he just said like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. I'm like, what the fuck. But yeah, so I think that's it. You know, he came today, he left, and you know, again, he just left saying like, oh, you examine them, you study those papers. Like, fuck you, bitch. But yeah, I think that's it. There's some other drama kind of going on within my family, but that's another thing.